I'm Tim Bradner. Welcome to Capitol Views. And we have with us today a new legislator from South Anchorage, Representative Chuck Kopp. Chuck, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
It's important to have new blood in the legislature down here, and you and your new class of freshman legislators certainly bring new blood, new ideas, new inspiration, and new energy. So Chuck, tell us about yourself and about your district.
Well, thanks, Tim. Yeah, it is good to be part of a new freshman class, as you mentioned. I think there's 8 or 9 of us that came in, so there is a lot of new blood in the building, so to speak. You know, I was born actually in Anchorage in 1965. I think it was one of the first babies in the new Providence Hospital. But my parents were school teachers out in the Lake and Penn School District, out in the Iliamna region and Bristol Bay region, and was out there for about 8-9 years. Then we moved into the big town of Kenai after that, and they continued to teach for many years. My dad retired and passed away in 2004, and my mom didn't retire till she was 70.
So you have small town experience.
Small town experience, and then moved of course back up into Anchorage about 9 years ago, and you might be aware I had the opportunity after I did 23 years in public safety. When I retired from that, I was served for 2 different senators as chief of staff to Senator Dyson and then Senator Machicky. And then this opportunity came up for me to serve in my House District, House District 24, which is a beautiful district. It's the old Seward Highway is the north-south line, and Diamond Boulevard, just south of Diamond Boulevard, is the east-west line running all the way to the bluff there in Anchorage, and coming all the way through Bayshore, Clatt Road, Southport, Ocean View, beautiful district, all the way to the rifle range as you're leaving town.
Well, that's a solid part of Anchorage. Chuck, you worked in public safety. What branch or what area did you work in?
Yeah, so when I was in college, I had the great opportunity. I was getting my justice degree at UAA. Thought I was going to go off to law school, Tim, but I had 2 Anchorage police officers in my classes taking justice classes with me, and they said, Chuck, you really should think about being a police officer. And I'm glad they did. I ended up going on ride-alongs, ended up joining the Anchorage Police Reserves, and they had a very active reserve officer program at that time. Did that for 3 years. Then in 1989 was hired by then Chief Rick Ross at the Kenai Police Department. Was down there for almost 20 years and was chief of police there my last 7, and did a 1-year stint too as an acting city manager. The city said, Chuck, we need a new city manager. Just for 3 months we need you to wear that acting hat. It ended up being a better part of a year. And so that was a great experience in managing a full service city with 8 departments, a municipal airport, as you know, and all those things that go along with a growing, vibrant, dynamic city. And after retiring from that, I also did a year with the Department of Public Safety out in Bristol Bay, necked at king salmon, which is where I grew up as a boy, fishing in the summers, and still go out there and chase salmon every year now with my 2 sons. And it was after that Senator Dyson called me after I retired and said, I got a job for you.
Well,
that got me right into the legislative service, and it's just a wonderful thing to have this opportunity to serve.
Well, you've got a broad, very diverse background. You got municipal, small town, city management, grew up in, well, your education background with your family out in the bush, Bristol Bay, working in a small town police force.
Yes.
That's a great kind of segue into what you're doing now.
It really is, Tim. It's seems like my whole professional life has been about solving people problems. Yeah. And you know, whether it's public safety or the legislative service, it's really what it comes down to is helping resolve issues that matter to people in a way that hopefully get at the best outcome that you can in the situation that you have.
Chuck, are there any special areas of interest? I know it's you've just been in Juneau for a few weeks now in the legislature, but what captures your attention at this point, or your interest?
Yeah, well, Tim, of course, the budget. That's of course a general. It's I do want to get a balanced fiscal plan that will move us forward in a healthy way. That we don't have to come back in 2 years and and do major adjustments on. Again, I do want to face those tough decisions head on. But other than that, property rights are important, our economic freedoms, the ability for you and I to enjoy the fruits of our labor in our own innovation, be able to profit from that, and in our free market economy. So anything that has to do with protecting people's property rights and small businesses and the ability for them to flourish in this market economy we have, those are things that are really important to me, and they're really important to our district. I would also say that public safety, a big issue, obviously for me in my career. I really support taking care of the spouses and children of officers and firefighters that have passed away in the line of duty. And there are actually some legislation pending on that, so those are things I support. And then education, a strong, healthy educational system that is focused on teachers and kids in the classroom.
I imagine you'll take a strong interest in the revisions to the SB 91, the crime reform bill that passed last year.
Yes, certainly it's an area that I'm keenly following. I've heard from a number of my constituents, certainly friends of mine that continue to serve in public safety, and looking at those areas that can be improved to make it clear where we want law enforcement officers to have a little more discretion to make decisions to arrest, and also on the petty theft end of things where shop owners will at least have the peace of mind knowing that if someone comes in and steals a small dollar item, they're still subject to an arrest penalty versus not being subject to that. So there are some things that I think we can fix that will really improve that bill, and there were some good reforms that I think will stay in place. Reform is always hard for any profession, but I think that we, public safety, we all want the best result for what we're investing. And if we're not getting that, the legislature will come back and keep visiting that until we get there. But I appreciate the effort of Senator Coghill pushing forward. That was a very heavy lift. And
it's a complicated piece of legislation.
It is.
Well, with your background, you bring kind of unique perspectives. It was perspective to it too, Chuck. So I think your colleagues will find that beneficial.
Well, thanks, Tim. I look forward to the opportunity to participate and just to be a member of a team. I keenly understand we don't do anything alone. We have to get it done with other people, and I look forward to being part of that team.
Well, Chuck, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Tim.
And Tim Bradner, thank you for joining us, Capitol Views.